Hello and good day to all friends. This is Mushtaba Rasti from the Thales team, and today is November 15th, 2025. I'm here with you to analyze Bitcoin using the Thales Market Screener tool. Please note that these analyses are purely educational and for informational purposes. If you use them to take positions in the market, the responsibility for any profit or loss is entirely your own. Well, the upward move we were talking about has more or less happened, up to 96,700, and then there was a downward move to 95,600. But it seems we can still go higher. In other words, this leg doesn't seem to be fully completed yet. It's around 99 now, but we can probably go up to about 97 or 98. Of course, today and tomorrow were both holidays, so price volatility will probably be relatively low. Let's take a look at the daily time frame, and as I mentioned before, please notice that if the price moves toward a certain direction, it could indicate a potential trend. Downward from here, or if it goes up to 97 and then comes down, there's a chance that this daily candle could close as an inverted hammer. In that case, tomorrow's candle might appear greener, possibly up to around 98 to 99, meaning this candle could move higher. On the weekly time frame, the important thing is that, as you can see, there's a high probability that the weekly candle will actually close below the 50-week moving average. This is a warning sign, and as they say, if you look at the past, this has never happened before. During an uptrend, the candle has never closed below this level, so this is a warning that we need to keep our eyes and ears open to see what's going to happen. Is this moving average really going to break convincingly and send us downward, or not? They're taking control, and of course that trend line, look, this trend line, the upward face, its lower edge has now been compromised. No matter how we try to adjust it, we can't really draw a new trend line anymore. This is pretty much the healthiest version of a trend line we can have, even if we try to change this edge, unless we really stretch it up, really extend it so that its peak reaches the target, say $177,000 or $180,000. Then we could have two new points here, with this point and this one, and draw the lower edge accordingly. But for now, I don't think that's logical. So, for now, we'll keep our trend line as it is. Yeah, so it's like this then. For now, it's also broken through this edge, so now we have to see. Let's see how things will change in the coming days and weeks. Let's go to the time frame. Let's check out the market screener and see what we have here. From the start of today until now, for the expiry date of tomorrow, November 16th, and looking at the raw database, you can see 3,290 Bitcoin. And the result is that both sides are up, and right now we're in the middle. The bearish side has a bit more dominance. Look, those betting on a drop to 91.7 or lower are in profit, and those betting on a rise above 99.5 are also in profit. If we move the slider forward, nothing special happens if we move it. We can check the open interest. For November 17th, you can see there's a volatile open position, and right now we're at the bottom. 95,500 below, 110,200 above. For November 18th, the volume is very low, only 145 Bitcoin, but it's showing a bullish pattern, above 95,700. For November 19th, the volume is extremely low, not even worth mentioning. Now, November 21st is interesting. Look, November 21st is bullish, very clearly bullish. So you can see that above 101,000, 102,000 is in profit, and its peak can move up to 107,000 or 108,000. That's for November 21st. And for November 28th, although the open interest is 820, which isn't very high, there's a situation. It's showing a bearish trend, meaning for November 28th, we're seeing a kind of bottom around 80 to 90,000. And on the other side, you can see that up to 108, 109, even 110,000, we could have a ceiling. So on one side, puts have been sold up to 90,000, and on the upside, calls have been sold up to 110,000. Again, it's a volatile situation and there are more call sales. Look at the delta. See how it's pushed downward as the price increases? What I'm trying to say is the ceiling they're saying for the price is much higher, but we're very close to the bottom right now, and there's a high ceiling ahead that could fill this gap and bring the price closer to that 110, 111,000 level. In fact, I think you could even interpret this as somewhat bullish. So is the situation changing? We don't know. December 5th hasn't seen much volume, and December 26th, these are today's trades, just from this morning until now, it's bullish, showing a bullish situation, with anything above 98,700 in profit. Let's take a look at the process database again and check this. You see, the process data shows volatility for tomorrow, which is the most logical scenario. A swing between 94,300 and 96,600 for tomorrow, which is what we expect. The 17th also has low volume and a bit of bottom play, going down to 92, even 91, and on the other side there's a slight, very small amount of call buying. For the 18th, again, you can see that there's a bit of activity, but the volume is low, so we can't really pay much attention to it. The 21st, here again, November 21st, has been processed in the database, and again, it's a nice upward trend, seen in profit above 102. And the 28th, here again, the 28th has that same curve shape we analyzed in the first database. December 5th, there's a bottom with low volume. Volume is low, so we don't pay much attention to this one either. Let's move on. December 26th, again, you see, with 1,275 Bitcoin processed in the database, it's completely bullish, and it's like we're in an uptrend, as if from 111,600 and above, it's been seen in profit. We don't really have much negative open interest either, so this is an interesting point, whether the outlook is shifting bullish or not. That's also important. Also, keep in mind, look, they always play with the market. Today I was reading in the news that one of the reasons for the recent drop was actually a rumor in the market that MicroStrategy was going to sell 47,000 Bitcoin, because on-chain data showed a 47,000 Bitcoin transfer in MicroStrategy's holdings. Then this rumor spreads, the market gets scared, and the drop happens. Then Michael Saylor himself comes out in an interview and says, no, we have no intention to sell, and we're still buyers of Bitcoin. Later, platforms that monitor wallets report that this was actually an internal transfer, meaning it wasn't a transfer to an exchange for sale. This 47,000 Bitcoin was just an internal move from one wallet to another. So this is how they play the market, create fear, push the market down, and the same MicroStrategy that supposedly was selling its Bitcoin after the rumor starts buying Bitcoin in this very dip. So you see, there are some perspectives showing up here, but the volumes aren't very high. We have to wait and see what happens over the next week, since today is a holiday, but it seems like some small changes are happening. This is also a good spot. The 94,000 we saw, 94,100, although it's very close to the 92,000 gap, so it's not out of the question that we might fill that small 92,000 gap. And now that we've come this far, we'll probably fill the 90-day gap too. And here is also a good bottom, a really good spot if a reversal is going to happen. Let's move on to drawing the indicator and zones. So you can see the intersection of the curves. The upper agreement is at 97,000 in loss, the lower agreement is at 94,100 in loss. In fact, both agreement zones they've created are disagreement zones, and both are closer to profit on the upside. So with this kind of weekend volatility, it seems consistent and shows a volatile situation. Let's put these into the indicator and continue. As you can see, compared to this morning's analysis, the top has come down more sharply, the bottom has come up a bit compared to the morning, and there's a volatile compressed zone. See, between 94,200 and 97,000, it's a tight range for tomorrow's movement. Let's update the zones and continue. As you can see, both zones are in loss, and both have formed disagreement zones. The lower one is wider, and with a flag-like pattern forming here, we're still waiting on this, but we'll move this lower. This top will probably go up to about 97,000, and this upper zone, 97,200 to 300, will go up and then come back down, fluctuating toward 94,000. We'll have volatility in this area. It's possible that this volatile situation could play out even tonight. We might go up and then come back down, and as we said, the daily candle could close as an inverted hammer. Then tomorrow we could see another move upward, maybe even higher, up to 98 or 99,000. So this kind of volatility can be expected. All right, delta and gamma. As you can see, now we have two gammas because of these two legs, in fact, the call buy and the put buy that have gone into profit. We have a lower gamma at 92,600, that's a long gamma at ticker 92,600. So we have one here where the maker is the seller. Sorry, yes, the maker is the seller of the put. And we also have one here, and we have a gamma on the upside at 99,400. 99,400 comes here. And this is interesting in itself, that the gamma levels we have on the upside are, in a way, farther from the current price. I'm not sure. Maybe they're about the same. Downside is 92,600, upside is 99,400. These are basically the two gamma levels we have, and at these two areas, the ticker here is the call seller. If a market maker is present, which of course is unlikely on a holiday, or if a big financial institution wants to be in the market, but if they are, here they're the call seller and their delta is negative. If the price reaches this area, volatility intensifies. To hedge themselves, they buy here, and conversely, they sell here. That is, it's really interesting. Whenever the price hits any of these, the movement in its current direction naturally intensifies. Well, we've also looked at other expiries, so let's go and take a look at the detailed trades from 3,290 Bitcoin. Let's see, 2,025 contracts have been bought, 1,045 call options, and 979 put options. The number of call options bought is slightly higher, not by much, just a little more. Given the time of this analysis, you can see that we're currently in the process of realizing these calls. So where is it? This is their perspective. Above 96,600, above 97, and here too. Look, here at 99, the numbers are a bit high, but anyway, here the delta could have already been reached. But roughly above 97 is profitable. This line we've drawn is a good spot and could be the endpoint for the realization of the deltas. The call purchases. And the put purchases haven't been realized. Below 94,600 is considered profitable. 94,600 is the floor. This is basically our lower zone. So these are on the realization page. The sellers. Sellers are 1,265 Bitcoin with 728 Bitcoin in call sales and 536 Bitcoin in put sales. Call sales are higher, and again, these are in the process of being realized, over 700. And where is the ceiling seen? The ceiling is seen at 96,500. The ceiling at 96,500 means somewhere in this upper zone, the price could pause around here, roughly in this area, and then move toward the realization of put sales, where the floor for our put sales is 95,200. 95,200 is... that means right here. So, you see, the volatility range is really tight for tomorrow, as seen by the put sellers who consider this the floor. Alright, here's the detail process database of trades we mentioned. The floor is at 94,500, and the ceiling is at 96,600, with high volumes above 10 Bitcoin. $15 Bitcoin, 11 trades of 15 Bitcoin. We have 12 Bitcoin, 31 trades. There are a lot of 12s. So there are strategies here, and basically all of these strategies are short straddles because they've shaped the overall curve like this. These don't really need much analysis, obviously. Actually, let me just say this. You can clearly see that this strategy is completely bearish in nature. Anything below 96,000 is profitable. So this is bearish, below 96, so we really can't expect anything above 96 or 97 realistically. This one is the same. It's another strategy just like that. Look, its value is 100 Bitcoin in total, and again, anything below 96 is profitable. So these ones, this one is simply a short straddle, and it's basically the same, 50 Bitcoin. All of these positions, as you can clearly see here, are actually short straddles. They're all short straddles. So in total, their value is 225 Bitcoin. 225 Bitcoin in total from the short straddle strategies. The floor is 95, the peak profit is at 96, and the ceiling is 97. These have basically set the volatility range for tomorrow for us between 95 and 97, or 94 to 97, or 94 to 96. All these ranges, in any case, can be considered as the volatility band for tomorrow. Now, this is from the process database, and as for liquidity, you can see 24 levels. There's liquidity on both sides of the price, and you could say it's pretty much balanced on each side. Here, from 96 to 98, there's liquidity, and below, from 92, 93 to 92.5, 96, there's liquidity as well. And for the 48-hour period, the 48-hour period also. If it shows us, yes, here you can see the intensity of liquidity moving upward. Again, look below, we have liquidity down to 92.2 as well. Especially from 93 to 96, there's a lot of liquidity. But above, there's a concentration of liquidity from 97 to 98, 99, and even more. Up to 101, 102 we have liquidity. And probably, if I move the time frame higher, the upper liquidity levels will become even more prominent. So, for tomorrow, we can expect the kind of volatility we've highlighted with the flash. In the coming hour, we can probably go up to 97, maybe 97, 97,300 or 400. And then we might see a move toward 94 or 95 on the 1-hour chart as well. Look here, there's a small flag pattern forming, and the RSI also has a bullish slope. It could break out and go up to around 97 and some change, and then move back down again. We'll have to see, with the upcoming week and the addition of more trades, what outlook we can have for the end of the week and the next week. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.